You are.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Headwaters of the Kamal. We are this week doing something special. We substituted our normal Thursday broadcast for today, Friday broadcast, to show you a special event that we are preparing for. That's going to be happening tonight. But in the meantime, I wanted to give you a very quick update as to what's happening in the fields, for the field work this week. We are continuing excavating in Block A and Block C, and we're kind of down about 1.5 meters in Block A in some of our lowest parts. Block C, we're opening up new units to sort of get a more horizontal distribution of what's happening over there. Block D has reached our 3-meter mark, which is kind of where our target mark for the depth we wanted to reach. So we're sort of closing that up for the moment until we can kind of sort of assess what we've found out down there and sort of make some judgments as to what's going to happen next. So we're spending most of our time in A and C, probably this past week and probably into next week as well. But the reason why we're broadcasting today instead of yesterday is because we are interested in showing you this. This is our new experiment. We are doing a earth oven demonstration tonight. And we are in preparation for that earth oven demonstration. We kind of made a preliminary earth oven, so it doesn't look like much to you right now. It just looks like a little mound of dirt. But underneath this mound of dirt is a earth oven. And so I'm going to invite Brian and Emily to come and tell us a little bit about our earth oven, and then we're going to move on to the setup for the earth oven we're going to be working on tonight. So take it away, guys.
Hello, my name's Brian, and
I'm Emily.
And we're graduate students at Texas State. And what this looks like a mound of dirt, but actually right now it's baking plants. And it's been baking those plants for about 2 days now. And really it's just an arrangement of hot rocks. We have packing material, we have food in there, and then it's covered with dirt, and all of that is just steam baking right now. And I guess if we want to walk over here, we'll kind of show you some of the materials that we're going to be demonstrating today and how this earth oven works.
What do you use for the packing material?
So the packing material is typically prickly pear pads, and an earth oven is usually it's a combination of layers. So the first thing you want to do is dig a pit. We've started right here. We'll finish this at the end of the day. And then once you have that pit, you want to build a fire in it. So we have our firewood right here. We're going to stack that up in a teepee-like fashion. And then we're going to put our rocks in that firewood, and then we're going to light that whole thing on fire, get it red hot. Once it burns down to coals and the rocks fall in the pit, then we will put the food on top of the rocks. But before we do that, we don't want the food to burn, so as you said, we'll put packing material on that. So our packing material is going to be prickly pear pad. We're going to put that on top of the hot rocks, and that's going to keep our food from burning. And then once we have the prickly pear on there, we're going to throw our food. And we have a few things on the menu today.
Most traditional, we have sotol. The edible part is like the bulb at the lower portion of it. We'll cut off the leaves and we'll go ahead and throw those in there too. They're additional packing material, and additionally by cooking them, they're softened, and they could be used traditionally to make fiber artifacts like sandals, matting, things like that. We also have here, this is Agave Lechuguilla, which is not native to Central Texas. It's native to Southwest Texas. But this is just an example of fiber that can be extracted from a single leaf like this. And so
it's sort of softened and burned, and then you can twist it into
cordage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, after
just
it's
like
been...
this, after it's been cooked.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see like the needle end.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's
you can
left on there.
see the twine. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. So, and as you see, as with any small fibers, this can be then turned into any number of things.
Yeah, net bags,
all sorts of things.
Then we have onions, which were traditionally cooked. These aren't wild native onions, but it's what we have.
We're gonna pretend.
We're gonna pretend. We're gonna do some experimenting with mussels. So at this site, we find a whole lot of mussel shell, which is freshwater mussel. we bought this at the store, and it's not freshwater mussel, but we're gonna experiment with that and see what happens. And then we have some other yuccas
Sort of
over
smaller
here that
ones
we're gonna
here. And again,
experiment
this
with
is
as
sort of
well.
like the leaf part doesn't get eaten, but the roots do.
There's the root.
So this is an example of a root.
Mm.
Just
So that will be our dinner on Tuesday.
yes. So we this stuff gets cooked for, like Brian said, a very long time. 2 days it has to cook in order for it to be able to be soft enough and to be able to eat and also to be able to use later on. So it's very sort of important to be able to try to get as much impact out of the effort you put into it. So we're sort of trying to sort of get the maximum amount of plant material in here with the right amount of fuel to be able to get it all going. And it's just, I mean, it's kind of like cooking charcoal in the old days. You have to put in a lot of effort to be able to get out exactly what it is that you are trying to get out. And then over here, these are the rocks. And give it a sense. So all those burned rocks that we've been showing you over the past weeks and weeks, this is what they started out looking like. So as you can see, they're all kind of beige and cream colored, large. They're all very large, and these are going to kind of be sandwiched in there. When they made the test run 2 days ago, they kind of turned the logs into a pyramid, and they kind of sandwiched these rocks in between the pyramidal structure. So they're actually lifted off the ground. They're not sitting on the ground like they are now. They're up suspended inside that network of wood. And the reason why they do that, I'm assuming, is because the heat from the fire makes it even more hot
Yes.
than if you just put these rocks down and put the fire on top of it.
Right.
They wouldn't get as hot as they are when they're suspended inside.
And I would say that there are some pictures of that test run with those rocks suspended on the blog for this week. So if you go to the website, you'll see sort of the rocks suspended
Inside the
wood frame,
sort of
so.
inside the network of branches. And so it's kind of operates a little bit differently than kind of what you might be initially thinking in your head. Just like it's not like a fire pit where you lay the rocks down and then you put the fire on top of it, or lay the rocks in a ring and you put the fire in the middle of it. It really is you're trying to turn it into sort of an item that holds much higher temperatures than you would be able to under those circumstances.
The rocks, they serve as a good way to think of it is like coils in your oven. They retain that heat, and they serve as a heating element. So that's what's baking the food. And then sandwiched between these prickly pad layers there's a lot of moisture in that. So with the combination of the heat from those rocks and then the moisture from the prickly pear pad, it's just kind of like steam baking. So there's no fire involved at all. It's just slowly steam baking this food about 100 degrees Celsius over about 2 days until it's ready.
Until everything kind of gets up to temperature. So
And one of the advantages of that is that these plants aren't edible. Plants such as sotil aren't edible until you cook them. So the cooking process changes them chemically and produces sugars, which then make it an edible food source. So,
yeah,
Excellent.
exactly. So yeah, this is going to be our demonstration tonight. I hope to set up a time-lapse GoPro video while we're in the process of creating this. So look to see that at some point in the near future. But until then, we're going to sign off from the Headwaters today. So look for, if you can't make it out tonight to watch the event, then feel free to look for video footage later on, and you'll get a chance to see what we've been doing. All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.